Hi, my name is Rashida Morris, and I am doing the assignment for just the case brief assignment that we have for week three's lesson. Just a video case brief. It's going to be quick. Didn't really do a lot of hunting for cases, just minimal, and I came across one that I thought was pretty interesting that I wanted to do, and it's pretty quick. So this is the one that I have chosen. It's actually Wanda Calvary ETAL, and looks like versus State of Tennessee. One interesting thing that I did so that you can kind of see the citation. I've actually already done it. You can just kind of copy here, and if you copy with reference and you paste it, you see that it says Texas copy, but you paste it here on just a Word document. This is actually what that looks like. I'll go ahead and show you again here. And it shows the case that we're doing, which is the case out of Tennessee Court of Appeals, Wanda Calvary ETL versus State of Tennessee. It shows the case number here, and this is actually the full citation, so that's very good. One thing that I really love about Westlaw is that it will give you that just by copying with those references. So as you can see, that's what that looks like. As far as the well, that pretty much just kind of tells you like the jurisdiction, everything that you need to know, and where the case is also being held. We're gonna do the IRAC method because it seems like that's the easiest method. Everything here, it's not all over the place, but it's kind of like up and down. So I'll be going up and down this here. So pretty much to start off with the facts of the case, I'll just go ahead and go down here with the facts. This is really just the procedural history and background of it. Just in a nutshell, the sons of Edward Clifford Askins, they filed a claim against the state of Tennessee, excuse me, because their father, they claim that their father was not treated fairly or treated was not handled with care, I would say, while in the veterans home. So pretty much he uh, ended up getting pneumonia. He had sores and different things like that, skin injuries. What they call is like a direct or proximate cause of his issues caused by the defendant. So pretty much their claim is that they failed to act in duty of care for their father, who actually died while he was there in the veterans home. So they are catastrophic, I would say, as far as what happened to their dad. They're very upset. So they filed a claim against the state of Tennessee. And with filing that claim, it turns out that the ruling actually ruled in favor of the state of Tennessee, as you can see here, where it shows the appeal of right, judgment of the claims commission affirmed, and case remanded. So it just kind of tells you what that is. It's already giving you the conclusion of the case, but the conclusion also is down at the very bottom. So I can just kind of give you a quick peek here. In light of the foregoing discussion, we are of the opinion of the claimants raised issues on appeal or are all either without merit or are waived. Accordingly, the judgment of the claims commission is affirmed. So that's just pretty much what that is. So, but yeah, just pretty much the facts of the case. We've actually discussed is that's pretty much in a nutshell what it was, is that they were upset because their father died and suffered injuries while he was in the rest home, and mainly complained about having issues with breathing and different things like that they noticed that caused him to do so. Now, in the midst of the case being heard, they ruled in favor again of the state of Tennessee, showing that they did act reasonably with reasonable care to take care of their father, the best to their ability that they can do, and within legal and reasonable standards. They did all that they can do, but father still died. So of course that didn't sit well with the plaintiffs, so they did appeal, and the appeal was denied. It's still, again, siding with the state of Tennessee, showing that they did show reasonable care. Um, so that's kind of like the judicial history or prior proceedings as to what's been going on and what led to the appeal and the affirmed final decision. And that's just pretty much what's in this background here. Now, as far as the discussion, I did also notice the rules that they used here, which they used, if you didn't see this here, Court of Appeals, Rules 11 and 12. And we can actually go there if you want to just kind of see. Let's go to court rules because I like that. We'll just put that here. And yeah, TennesseeCourts.gov, Tennessee Court of Appeals. You know. Rules, I'm going all over the place, but here. So let's see here. 11 and 12 is what they use. Publication of opinion, permission to appeal to Tennessee court is filed. This kind of gives you what they used here. It's not a much of lesson here, but that's just, I just kind of wanted to see those rules and let you all see that too, as far as what they were following to get to their opinion. So you can always go to TennesseeCourts.gov and that's going to give you that. But pretty much what they're saying here in their discussion is just giving their reason for the rules that they've utilized as far as case law. It just brings up maybe like according to the Tennessee rules of or Tennessee Code annotated from what I can see here, it looks like says the healthcare liability must prove these three things here: that they recognize the standard of acceptable professional practice in this profession, that the defendant acted with less than or failed to act with ordinary and reasonable care in accordance with the standard, and also as a result, approximate cause of the defendant's negligence or negligent act or omission. So pretty much what we were already saying is that they're trying to see if these things were violated, which, and as I said before, they ruled that they were not violated. They were within their standards. So I hate that happened to their dad, but unfortunately, have to go by what the law says, and the law says that they did what they were supposed to do, and it was all reasonable. So therefore, that's what gave them their decision as far as their ruling. When we look at the analysis of it, I wanted to kind of go down a little further here because I wanted to bring up the legal questions here. I had my own in my head, but they already had some questions here, which is like the issue of that. Let's see here. I think it kind of gave you like the analysis beforehand, and I did. That's like kind of like the longer section here in this discussion. And let's see. And I'll go back to the rules here. Well, this is the longest section. Is this, and pretty much just in a nutshell, just trying to say how did they come to the conclusion that they came to. So we've said it numerous times here that they did act with reasonable care and reasonable standard of care for their father, but unfortunately the father passed. It was just his time, so unfortunately they did not. It was ruled that they did not act negligently. And here I was skipping all over the questions here. So pretty much the legal question is whether the commission's findings that the standard of care was met and no harm resulted to Mr. Askins are against the preponderance of the evidence and constitute a complete disregard of substantial relevant evidence of fraudulent charting. The next question is whether the commission erred in precluding entry of personnel records, of the state's witness, Jerry Trauber, that demonstrated similar behavior and impeached her testimony. Whether the commission erroneously limited the weight of evidence of short staffing in the facility, and whether the commission erroneously permitted the state's expert to render new, previous, undisclosed opinions. I'm so sorry. Prejudicing. I just could not talk all of a sudden. Well, that's okay. But you know what I'm saying as far as this here. But I hate that I can't talk. But this is pretty much the legal question here, or the legal issues that were found. And just in my own personal opinion, it's just whether or not they act with reasonable care, or whether or not they were the proximate cause of the plaintiff's father's death. So that's pretty much, just in a nutshell, what that is. For the conclusion, we've already read the conclusion here, so I'll just skip back down to it. Let's see here. Oh, and before I get down to that, this here shows, like in the analysis where they were talking about the different testimonies of the different witnesses that were there, as far as the outcome, experience, and evidence of adverse medical outcomes is by no means a substitute for proving a breach of standard of care. So pretty much what they're saying, even with the witnesses that were there and the staff that was there, no one saw any ill treatment. Pretty much, it's pretty much on what they're saying is that when they come to the veterans home, it's similar to hospice care. You can only do as much as you're able to do, even if you're short-staffed or if you're overstaffed or whatever. The outcome is still going to be the outcome. Is pretty much what they were saying on the defendant's end. So again, it's unfortunate what happened to their father, but that is the reason for the ruling in favor of the defendant. But again, you'll see that here in this case, and I'm just going to go down to the conclusion, because again, we read the conclusion earlier. I skipped all the way down to it, but again, the conclusion is that they ruled in favor of the lower court, citing that everything is affirmed. So pretty much that's it. That's the briefing of this case, and we are done. Thank you.